Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
One of the areas of concern here has been the safety of women tourists in the country, and you once blamed biased reporting on this issue for the growing concern about safety of women. Do you still hold that view, or do you think there are other factors?
Of course, I think it's a completely racially biased reporting. I mean, dumping India and saying that India is the most unsafe place for women. I mean, what kind of a report is this? Look at the millions of women and young girls who travel alone in this country, go to work, go to study, and travel to the remotest places and nothing happens to them. You pick up one incident, and then you see, one incident is also not acceptable to me or to anybody else, to the government. But then you pick up one incident, one stray incident in a country of 1.3 billion people, and then say India is unsafe. We talked to the agency which put out the news, Thomson Reuters. They said no, they talked to 548 so-called feminists, and they talked to 43 feminists or people who are dealing with women's issues in India. I said, give us the names, can we have? They said, no. Who are these people who are the so-called specialists in women affairs or feminists? They're all left. Yeah, they're all radical left people. You don't expect them to support the Prime Minister. See, because you don't want to support the Prime Minister, you also don't end up supporting the country. You like to put everything is wrong with the country. I think it's completely fake news, it's completely rubbish, and I don't think we need to take these things seriously.
Do you look at it as a kind of left-sponsored propaganda?
Of course, it's an extreme left-sponsored propaganda. It's a hate propaganda against the Prime Minister and my government. And in any case, there's a strong radical racist press out there internationally. Yeah, I mean, so these people. What does something like Fox News put out? What does it put out? I mean, there are so many of these news agencies are hugely racist.
But there are issues about safety of women in the country. I mean,
there are issues of safety of women all over the world. Not only of women, also of men. Do you travel in New York metro after a certain hour and stop over or walk in certain streets in Manhattan? Do you? My son lives in Manhattan. Do you walk on those streets? You don't. Yeah, and look at the number of incidents taking place in London or Paris or anywhere in the world. The numbers are much more, but I'm not trying to justify quoting numbers. Any incident against any human being, be it a man or a woman, I think it's absolutely unacceptable. The point is that you take one isolated incident somewhere and then you blow it out of proportion and say India is unsafe. All this is extremely unfair. And our own media is doing it. Our own media runs front page articles, lead articles saying how India is a wastebasket. What do you expect? Yeah? Now, do you see the American media doing that?
But so what do you do when you have something like what happened in Kathua or Unnao rape case? Of course, the media will highlight this.
See, what happened in Kathua, what happened in Nirbhaya case, I mean, these are all isolated cases in a country of 1.3 billion people. Yes, we need to report them. But do you see the New York Times or the Washington Post or any of the leading newspapers saying that America is completely unsafe? They have a shootout happening almost every day, someplace in the US. Do you see them writing editorials or lead articles or front page? You don't. And therefore, you see, it is not only the responsibility of the Honorable Prime Minister or even the tourism minister to get tourists in India. Tourism is the biggest has the biggest multiplier effect. It brings in money, it creates jobs for all segments of society, from illiterate people to semi-literate to qualified people. And it is the industry of the future, sector of the future. Therefore, do you want just based on isolated incidents, do you want to write lead articles just putting down your country? Does any country do that? That's my question. Does any country do that? We all need to work together, the media, the so-called intellectuals, I mean, inverted commas. We all need to work together and say this country needs to be better. Let's take responsibility. If things need to be improved, I believe there are a lot of areas where we need to improve. Let's work on that instead of just condemning and saying, wow, this is gone. Our country is not good. No, I think we need to love our country a little more through contributing. Can you get one tourist more to India? Can you get 100 tourists more? It creates jobs for people right down there at the bottom level. It creates jobs for communities who who are deprived. To the taxi driver, to the auto rickshaw drivers, to the rickshaw wala, it creates jobs. To the vegetable grower.
So you said international media highlights these issues when it happens in India.
Both, not only international media, our national media also highlights.